Henry and I met about 4 years ago after his accident. I was introduced to him from a surgeon at Savannah Vascular initially, and then we started developing our plan of care for his prosthesis, keeping in mind that he's a young man who was in a tragic accident, and we wanted to make sure we provided a prosthesis that would allow him to restore that level of mobility and also allow him to go back to work. So fortunately, for the most part, we've been very successful. There have been some small issues that we've had to work with and manage to make sure he can continue that level of activity. Most recently, he ended up getting a bony overgrowth on the end of his leg that wasn't necessarily problematic at the time, but long-term it probably would have been, just given his activity level. And that's when I introduced him to Dr. Goldberg, just to have Dr. Goldberg evaluate him from an orthopedic standpoint.
We're seeing Henry back today in follow-up. I met him a couple years ago after he was sent to me by Ryan Fannin for a painful right amputation stump. He unfortunately had a motorcycle crash and wound up having an amputation, and he wound up with painful bone spurs in his stump. So we're trying to get him back to playing basketball and doing his usual activities. We went in and cleaned out his bone spurs, and he's done well in recovery, and we're getting him back to a normal prosthetic wear.
Now he's already back walking, running, jogging, and soon about to start work. So I always think it's good to get a collaboration of care, a more team approach when you involve either a therapist, your prosthetist, and then the surgeon, just to make sure that we're all coming together, putting our heads together, and making sure that we provide the best outcome for the person that we're working with. If you were running before you lost your leg, our goal is to make sure that you can run afterwards. And if you're not able to, we have to figure out why. And I may not be the only person to figure that out. You know, we may involve other medical personnel, other healthcare professionals to help us figure that out. It can be from a muscle weakness standpoint. It can be from a confidence standpoint. There's 3 main ingredients to success using a prosthesis: comfort, strength, and confidence. You got to have all 3 of those put together in order to meet your pre-amputation lifestyle. And I'm a part of making them comfortable, and that's by way of designing the prosthesis to distribute pressure as evenly as possible, but also educating the patient on how to manage certain issues. And then strengthening is just them practicing and working with physical therapy, and confidence is all on the patient. They just got to practice, and they just need to put themselves in positions to make them trust that this prosthetic leg is no longer a prosthetic leg. It is their new leg. It just looks a little bit different.